Hello, dear viewers, and a warm welcome back to our channel, your trusted source for thoughtful, in-depth explorations of royal life beyond the headlines. If you're joining us today, you probably already know that the British royal family isn't just about palaces and pageantry, it's also a story of real people, real homes, and the sometimes unexpected realities of daily life, even for future kings and queens. So, if you value a fresh, immersive take on royal news, do give this video a like, subscribe to our channel, and tap the bell so you never miss a new episode. Today's story might seem at first like a footnote, but it tells us something profound about both the vulnerabilities and resilience of even the world's most famous family. We're heading to Windsor, a landscape that has witnessed the coronation of monarchs, the rise and fall of dynasties, and, as it turns out, the quiet struggles of ordinary family life. But this time, the enemy at the gates is not a foreign army or scandal in the press. It's something altogether smaller, and yet, as you'll see, surprisingly formidable: the oak processionary moth caterpillar. Windsor, both the town and the sweeping Great Park, has always held a special place in the hearts of the royals. For centuries, it has been a place of refuge, family tradition, and, perhaps most importantly, continuity. When Prince William and Princess Kate chose Adelaide Cottage as their family home, it wasn't just about stepping away from the relentless glare of London. It was a conscious choice for their children, George, Charlotte, and Louis, to grow up in a world of freedom, ancient trees, wildflowers, and birdsong, almost a fairy-tale childhood set against the backdrop of England's green and pleasant land. But as any family living close to nature knows, the idyll can sometimes be interrupted. For William and Kate, the news came not as a tabloid headline, but as a practical warning delivered quietly, but carrying the force of genuine concern. The threat. The rapid spread of the oak processionary moth, a tiny invader whose story began far from these shores but has now made Windsor its home. And with it, a new layer of daily anxiety for every family with children and pets, even royal ones. Let's dive into the details. The oak processionary moth isn't native to Britain. Its caterpillars arrived here almost by accident, hitching rides on imported trees in the early 2000s. At first, few noticed their presence. But as the climate warmed, their numbers exploded. These caterpillars are instantly recognizable, moving together in ghostly, nose-to-tail lines, scaling oak trunks, and weaving their distinctive white nests among the branches. They're almost mesmerizing to watch, but behind their eerie procession lies a hidden danger. What makes these caterpillars such a concern is not just what they eat, oak leaves, in vast quantities, but the thousands upon thousands of fine, toxic hairs covering their bodies. Invisible to the naked eye, these hairs break off at the slightest touch, drifting on the breeze, settling on picnic blankets, garden furniture, even the windowsills and doorknobs of nearby homes. And with every gust of wind, they spread further, quietly, persistently, in ways that are almost impossible to fully control. For families living in the area, this creates a host of very real health problems. Just brushing against a leaf or playing on the grass beneath an infested tree can trigger angry, persistent rashes, burning eyes, and, for those who are sensitive, even severe breathing difficulties. Children, with their boundless curiosity, are most at risk, so too are pets, who love to sniff, roll, and explore the world nose first. Even adults, gardening, jogging, walking the dog are now advised to take precautions that would have sounded absurd only a decade ago. For William and Kate, this challenge is particularly acute. Much of their parenting philosophy is centered on nature, teaching their children to climb trees, observe insects, and appreciate the changing seasons. Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis have been photographed countless times outdoors, running through meadows, feeding ducks, kicking a football beneath the ancient oaks. All those treasured routines, so essential to a happy childhood, are now shadowed by caution. Is that tree safe? Are there caterpillars on that branch? Should we keep the windows closed on a breezy afternoon? The public warning from Windsor Great Park authorities was clear: from May through July, the risk is highest. This is the period when the caterpillars are not only most numerous, but are actively shedding their irritating hairs in vast quantities. The park's management has posted signs, issued press releases, and even sent teams in protective gear to remove the worst infestations. But with over 4,800 acres of woodland, complete containment is impossible. And this is not just a problem for the royals. Local families, dog walkers, school groups, even tourists drawn to Windsor's legendary beauty are all being asked to stay alert. The advice is practical but sobering. Keep children away from the base of oak trees, don't let pets roam off-leash, wash any exposed skin and clothing after time outdoors. For a royal family so often associated with control, order, and ceremony, it's a humbling lesson in the unpredictability of life and a reminder that some problems simply can't be managed by palace protocol alone. But the story goes even deeper. The arrival and spread of the oak processionary moth is a symptom of broader environmental change. Scientists warn that the warming climate, coupled with increased international trade, is accelerating the spread of invasive species worldwide. From Japanese knotweed to grey squirrels, British landscapes are being reshaped by new arrivals, some beautiful, others, like the caterpillar, a genuine threat to human health and ancient woodlands alike. For the monarchy, this evolving reality carries symbolic weight. King Charles III, himself a passionate advocate for environmental causes, has spent decades warning of the unforeseen consequences of human interference with nature. Now, his own family is living with those consequences, forced to balance the joys of country life with the hard truths of ecological disruption. It's an experience that connects the royal household, however grand, to the everyday realities faced by millions of families across the country. Behind the scenes at Adelaide Cottage, one can imagine how daily routines have changed. Perhaps there are new rules for playtime, new conversations about good bugs and bad bugs. Maybe the royal children, like so many others, are learning not only about the wonders of nature, but also its risks, discovering firsthand that even the most magical places require respect and care. And for William and Kate, it's a lesson in adaptation, how to maintain family happiness, keep a sense of freedom and discovery, while safeguarding against invisible dangers. Of course, all of this takes place under the gaze of the world's media. The smallest details of royal life, what the children wear, where they play, even what they eat, are endlessly discussed and debated. Yet this particular challenge, invisible and almost mundane, reminds us that beneath the crown, the Wales family faces the same anxieties as any parent. In their quest for normalcy, they must accept that life, whether royal or not, is full of trade-offs and uncertainty. So, what's the way forward? Experts say that education is key. The more families know about the signs and risks of the caterpillar, the better they can protect themselves. Parks and estates must remain vigilant, ready to act quickly as new infestations arise. And, perhaps most importantly, society as a whole must grapple with the deeper questions. How do we balance the preservation of beautiful, historic landscapes with the new threats posed by globalization and climate change? What does it mean to care for the land, not just as a symbol, but as a living, changing ecosystem? For now, the summer at Windsor goes on. Children still play, the royal family still walks the gardens, and life continues with a little more caution, a little more respect for the small but mighty forces of nature. And perhaps, in that, there is a hidden blessing, a chance to remember that, in the end, we are all part of the same natural world, subject to its mysteries and its lessons, no matter how gilded the gates that surround us. Thank you for spending this time with us as we explored a quieter, but deeply meaningful, chapter in royal family life. If you have experiences with nature's unexpected challenges, or thoughts on how we can all live more harmoniously with our environment, we'd love to hear from you in the comments. Your stories make our community stronger. Don't forget to like this video, share it with fellow royal watchers and nature lovers, and subscribe for more insights and real-life stories from behind palace walls. Stay safe, stay curious, and until next time, remember, sometimes, the smallest things can change the course of a royal summer.